The quiet moments before you drift into sleep are not just a time for rest. They're a doorway into the deepest parts of yourself where the subconscious becomes soft, receptive, and ready to be reprogrammed. Every image, every emotion, every thought you plant at this time will sink in, take root, and silently shape the way you think, feel, and ultimately live. Most people miss this power. They let their minds be filled with news, social media, or unresolved worries, then wonder why they wake up the next morning heavy and drained. But if you know how to use it, those few minutes before sleep can become a tool that transforms your life. Because this is the moment when imagination is no longer fenced in by logic or doubt. It is free to create, and that creativity is the seed of tomorrow's reality. Imagination is not a meaningless daydream as many assume. It is the mind's original language, the most powerful medium to connect with the universe and with your own creative nature. Imagination doesn't just show you what could happen, it lets you live inside it, tasting it with all your senses and emotions, until your mind can no longer tell what's real and what's imagined. When the subconscious believes it's real, it will do everything it can to make it so. But this power does not lie in simply wishing for something. Wishing, no matter how beautiful, often carries the vibration of lack. When you wish, you are admitting you don't have it, and the signal you send out is one of absence. The subconscious will faithfully mirror that back to you. The secret is that you don't just wish, you become. You step into the role of someone who already has what you desire, living it, breathing it, letting your body and mind accept it as an unquestionable truth. In that state, you are no longer trying to pull the future towards you, you are already standing in it. Before sleep, let your mind paint the picture of the life you long for, but not as if you're watching a movie, as if you're living a moment. If it's success, feel the firm handshake of a trusted partner. Hear the sound of the pen signing a major deal. Feel your heartbeat quicken with joy and certainty. If it's love, feel the warmth of their hand in yours. Hear the laughter that flows so naturally between you. See the gaze that tells you you are fully understood. Engage all your senses. Let scent, sound, light, and touch flood into your imagination. The mind cannot distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences as long as the emotion behind them is strong and authentic. And it is this emotion that sends the true signal to the universe. Words only reach the conscious mind, but emotion speaks directly to the subconscious, the very place that determines what you will attract. The moments before sleep are the most fertile ground for planting this emotional seed. And here's the key. You cannot plant it with urgency or impatience. You cannot lie in bed thinking, I'll imagine this so it happens tomorrow. That urgency is proof you don't yet believe. Approach it as a gentle ritual, like coming home. When you walk into your own home, you don't doubt its existence, you simply live in it. The same way, when you enter the world of imagination, let it feel natural, familiar, effortless. Let it unfold. Experience it as if you're recalling a memory rather than creating a dream. Because memories carry the energy of certainty, while dreams do not. If you do this every night, you'll notice the change. First in your mood lighter, more confident, then in the opportunities, people and situations you once overlooked, and one day you'll find yourself living in the exact scene you once held in your mind so naturally that you can't remember where it all began. That is the power of pre-sleep imagination. Quiet, steady, and undeniable, turning you into the architect of your life instead of someone swept away by it. Wishing and assuming the end may aim for the same destination, but the power and energy they generate are entirely different. Wishing often begins from a place of lack. You want something because you don't have it. The moment you wish, you also unknowingly acknowledge the gap between you and what you desire. That gap becomes fertile ground for doubt to grow. Will I get it? How long will it take? What if I fail? The subconscious hears every one of these questions, and it faithfully reflects in reality the very limits you have unconsciously accepted. Assuming the end is different, it doesn't arise from scarcity, but from fullness. You don't say, I want or I hope. You speak by living, this is already a part of me. When you assume, you step into the role of someone who already has, who has already achieved, who has already become. Every gesture, thought, and decision is shaped by that state. You are no longer someone waiting for the future. You are already inhabiting it. And this changes the entire frequency of energy you emit. Imagine you're at a train station. Wishing is standing still, looking at the train, and thinking, I hope it will come for me. Assuming is stepping directly onto the carriage, choosing your seat, and feeling the journey has already begun. Once you are on the right train, it cannot help but take you to your destination. The difference also shows in how you act. When you wish, your actions often carry a tone of trial and hesitation. You act because you hope it will work, but underneath there's still the worry, what if it doesn't? When you assume, action becomes natural and consistent. You move as though there is no other script but success. Every decision flows from a solid belief that you are already on the right path. This is not about tricking yourself. Assuming the end doesn't require you to deny your current reality, it asks you to choose the mental state you want reality to reflect back. The universe doesn't respond to faint pleas. It responds to the frequency you radiate through your emotions, thoughts, and beliefs. When you assume, you send a clear message. I already have. I already am. I have already become. And your subconscious records this as a command it cannot refuse. Assumption also frees you from waiting. When you wish, you count the days, check the clock, measure progress. Every time you notice it's not here yet, you pull yourself out of the state of having. But when you assume, you live in the feeling of already having arrived, so time becomes irrelevant. You don't ask when, because in your mind, it has already happened. This creates a profound shift from the vibration of scarcity to the vibration of abundance, from uncertainty to certainty, from seeking to receiving. And that shift opens doors you could never see while standing in the state of wishing. Think of the difference between someone who enters a room with quiet confidence and someone who enters weighed down by fear. The confident one is not always the most skilled, but their energy draws attention, opens opportunities, and leaves a lasting impression. That is the power of assumption. You are not waiting to be chosen. You carry the presence of someone who already is. Practicing assumption begins in small details. If you want financial success, don't just wish, I want to be wealthy. Let your body feel the ease of paying for anything without hesitation, the excitement of investing in what you believe in, the generosity of helping others freely. If you want love, don't just wish, I want a happy relationship. Live in the feeling of being deeply loved and loving fully, the warmth of having a partner by your side, the peace of knowing you are completely understood. Each night before sleep, instead of repeating what you want, step into the scene where it is already true. Not as an observer, but standing inside it, breathing it in, touching it, hearing it, smiling because it's here now. The subconscious will store that feeling, and day by day, you will act as though it is an inevitable part of you. Assuming the end is not about avoiding action, it's about acting from a solid foundation. When your mind believes you already have it, you naturally choose steps that align. You don't act out of fear of losing. You act because you know you are expanding what already belongs to you. Wishing places you in the role of a seeker. Assumption places you in the role of a creator. And between those two roles lies a gap wide enough to change your entire life. If you want something to come to you, you must first live in the feeling that it is already here. Not pretending, not indulging in shallow imagination, but fully immersing yourself in the state of having achieved it. This is where emotion becomes the bridge between your present and the reality you desire. The subconscious doesn't care about reasons. It doesn't crunch numbers. It doesn't debate possibilities. It listens to and responds to only one thing: emotion. Emotion is the language the universe truly understands. Words can only touch the surface of your conscious mind, but emotion penetrates straight into the deepest layers of your psyche. When you feel your desire is a completed reality, you send out a clear signal: this is my reality. And that signal will seek out, attract, and arrange everything necessary to reflect it back to you. Think of a beautiful memory in your life. When you recall it, you don't just see images, you hear the sounds, smell the scents, and feel the warmth or excitement spreading through your body. To your subconscious, that experience is as alive now as it was then. This is exactly what you must do with your goal. Turn it into a future memory you can recall right now. Engage all your senses. If you want success, Picture yourself on stage, hear the thunderous applause, feel the warm spotlight on your skin, smell the flowers of congratulations filling the air. If you want peace, feel the gentle breeze on your cheek, hear the steady rhythm of the waves, smell the salt of the sea, and feel the safety of knowing you have no burdens left to carry. Don't let your imagination stop at vague images. Make it so vivid that your body responds for real. Your heart beats faster, your facial muscles soften, your breath shifts. This feeling must be cultivated like a ritual, not done once and forgotten. Just as a musician practices until their fingers move by reflex, you must train your mind and body to instantly respond with the state of having achieved. When that feeling becomes familiar, it is no longer something you hope will happen. It is something that has always been yours. Many people make the mistake of thinking they must see the result before they are allowed to feel it. But the law works in reverse. Feel it first. The result comes after. If you wait for permission to feel joy, gratitude, or love, you are closing the door to them. Open the door by feeling them now. Don't fear that you're fooling yourself. You're not lying, you're choosing a state of mind. You're not denying the present, you're refusing to let it define your limits. Just like watching a movie. You're sitting in a theater, yet you still laugh, cry, and tremble with the characters. You allow yourself to live in a parallel reality. This practice becomes even more powerful when paired with breath and focus. Sit still, breathe deeply, and with every exhale, release all tension. When your body is relaxed, begin to immerse yourself in your desired scene. Let every detail come alive, no rush, no force. Allow the feeling to form and expand until you forget this is an exercise. In that moment, you have tuned into the frequency of what you want. As you carry this state into daily life, you'll notice subtle changes. You speak differently, stand taller, look people in the eye, smile more. You act as if what you want has already happened, and those actions become physical proof of your inner belief. From there, opportunities appear, the right people find you, and new paths open. The key is you don't wait for the conditions to be perfect before you begin. You don't need money to feel financial freedom. You don't need a partner to feel love. You don't need a flawless situation to feel peace. In fact, by feeling it first, you create the environment for it to arrive. Fully embodying the state of having is not a trick to force the universe, it's a way of living. It turns you into a magnet for what matches you, not through strained effort, but through natural resonance. And once you are truly familiar with this state, you will stop asking, when will it come? Because in your heart, you already know it's here. Before sleep, your mind enters a unique state, half awake, half dreaming, where the defenses of the conscious mind gradually lower and the gateway to the subconscious swings open. This is the most precious moment to plant mental seeds, because whatever you place in this space will take root deeply, grow quietly, and eventually take shape in your reality. The subconscious is like fertile soil. It doesn't judge whether a seed is good or bad. It simply nourishes whatever you plant. If you plant worry, doubt, and negative memories, it will nurture those. If you plant trust, abundance, and images of a bright future, it will nurture those too and bring them into your lived experience. The mental womb before sleep is not just a poetic metaphor, it's a psychological and physiological reality. Research shows that in the moments before sleep, your brainwaves slow down into alpha and theta states, the most receptive states, where new impressions easily sink into the unconscious. This is the time when the affirmations, images, and emotions you choose have far greater influence than at any other point in the day. Yet most people miss this opportunity. They let the last seeds of their day be negative news, anxious conversations, or exhausting memories. They don't realize that this is why they wake the next morning in the same tense state, trapped in the same cycle. To change this, you must become a conscious gardener of your mind. Before you close your eyes, choose carefully what you want to plant. Don't just think about your desire, feel the result as if it's already complete. If your goal is health, feel the lightness in your steps, the ease in your breathing. If it's wealth, feel the spaciousness and calm when you spend or invest. If it's love, feel the warmth and safety of having someone by your side. The key is to make the emotion clear and full, because emotion is the nutrient that allows the seed to sprout. A picture in your mind can be beautiful, but without emotion, it's just a painting on the wall of your mind, something you look at but can't touch. When image and feeling merge, the subconscious treats it as reality and begins adjusting your behavior, decisions, and focus to make it real. Think of this as planting a seed in the soil. You don't pull it up every day to check it, and you don't demand it sprout instantly. You simply plant, cover, and trust. Your job is not to force it to grow, but to protect the soil from weeds, the doubts, fears, and old patterns. Before bed, instead of scrolling through your phone, give yourself a few minutes for this planting ritual. Turn off the lights, take slow, deep breaths, and let your body relax. Then bring your mind into the scene you want to live in. Make it so real that it stops feeling like an exercise and starts feeling like a natural part of you. And remember, planting is an act of love and trust, not pressure or urgency. If you lie down thinking, I have to imagine this so it happens tomorrow, you've already planted impatience and doubt alongside your desire. Let it be gentle, a nightly act of self-nourishment. With consistent practice, you'll notice change not just in outer results, but inside yourself. You'll sleep more deeply, wake with more clarity, and during the day, you'll begin noticing signs, opportunities, and people aligned with what you've planted. That's when you'll realize the seed has sprouted even without your conscious effort to make it happen. The mental womb before sleep is a gift everyone has, but only those who value and use it discover its real power. Treat each night as a chance to create tomorrow, because every seed you plant today, in stillness and trust, will become the forest you walk in tomorrow. You don't need to wait for every condition to align before you allow yourself to live in the state you desire. Waiting is a sweet but dangerous trap. It keeps you in the posture of someone lacking, always looking ahead with expectation and anxiety, instead of standing firmly in the present with trust and abundance. Living your desired state now means closing the gap between I will and I am, turning what you're seeking into something you are already experiencing, even if the outer world hasn't yet shifted. The universe responds to the vibration you emit, not to the checklist of things you want. When you vibrate at the frequency of love, you draw love. When you live in the frequency of wealth, financial opportunities begin to appear. When you hold the frequency of peace, people and situations that match that peace will find you. This isn't luck, it's resonance. You have become the magnet that harmonizes with what you desire. Look at how you behave once you've achieved your goal. If you were already financially free, you'd make decisions from abundance, not from fear of loss. If you were in love, you'd speak and act from trust, not suspicion. If you were in radiant health, you'd move with ease and energy. Now bring those states into today, not as pretense, but as a choice to live as though it already belongs to you. This requires letting go of the question, when? That question quietly affirms that you do not yet have it. Every time you check the clock, count days, or monitor progress, you pull yourself back into the frequency of lack. Instead, ask, if it has already happened, what would I do today? How would I feel? How would I walk into a room? Then do exactly that. Let your body become the broadcast station for your new state. Your posture, your eyes, your tone of voice, the way you listen or make decisions, all of these are messages to your subconscious and to the world around you. When you carry yourself like someone who already has it, you send a clear signal, I am living in it now. And the universe aligns the outer picture to match that signal. Of course, doubt will creep in sometimes, that's natural. But you don't need to fight doubt, you only need to replace it with the feeling of your desired state. Each time it appears, pause, close your eyes, and let the emotion of already having it flood you. Just a few breaths are enough to return you to the right frequency. This isn't denying reality, it's reminding yourself that reality is forming from the inside out, not the other way around. Living in your desired state right now doesn't just transform your personal experience, it changes how you move through the world. You begin to speak encouragement instead of complaint, make bold choices instead of clinging to false safety, and look for solutions instead of getting lost in problems. These actions, repeated, leave an energetic imprint that others can feel, which is why they want to collaborate, help, or offer you opportunities. You can start in small ways. If you want wealth, manage what you have, like someone truly wealthy with appreciation, wise investment, and generosity. If you want love, treat yourself as you would in a deeply loving relationship with respect, care, and nourishment. If you want peace, create moments of stillness in your day without waiting for life to slow down first. As you sustain this state, the line between dream and reality blurs. You stop feeling like you're waiting for anything because it has already become a part of you. Then the outer result simply falls into step with you, not too fast, not too slow, but right on time. Living your desired state now is the art of making each day living proof of your belief. You don't wait for the future to feel happy, successful, or abundant. You begin today and let the outer world catch up, because when the inside is whole, the outside has no choice but to match it. The greatest strength of creation doesn't come from the moment you first feel your desired state. It comes when that state becomes so familiar, you no longer think of it as something special. When it turns into your normal, when it no longer gives you a temporary rush, but becomes the foundation you live from, manifestation happens faster, more naturally, and in a way that's almost irreversible. The challenge is that most people only touch their desired feeling briefly. They visualize, they feel happy for a moment, and then slip back into worry and doubt as if the dream was just a fleeting escape. This inconsistency sends mixed signals to the subconscious, sometimes believing, sometimes doubting, which prevents the result from taking a clear shape. Turning your desired state into your normal means living in it long enough, often enough, that it becomes reflexive. Like moving to a new city at first, everything feels foreign, but after a few months, the streets, shops, and neighborhoods become a natural part of your life. Your desired state works the same way. You have to move in, stay there, and let it become the permanent address of your mind. It begins by erasing the boundary between me and my dream. You stop seeing it as a destination and start seeing it as where you already stand. You drop the language of distance, no more when I have or one day, and replace it with I am and I have. From there, every choice, reaction, and the way you show up reflects that truth. When your desired state has become normal, you'll notice something interesting. You no longer crave it the same way, not because you don't want it anymore, but because it's already yours. Just like you don't get excited every morning because you have air to breathe, you simply live with it, enjoy it, and let it sustain you. That's the clearest sign your subconscious has accepted it as reality. So how do you reach that point? The answer is repetition and consistency. Not forced repetition, but weaving your desired state into every corner of your life. If it's peace, create moments of stillness every day until your mind naturally returns to that state without prompting. If it's wealth, make decisions, spend, and act with the mindset of someone who is abundant until sufficiency becomes second nature. If it's love, give care and warmth as though you've lived in that love your whole life. You must also be mindful of your environment, both outer and inner. Your outer environment is the people, images, sounds, and habits that surround you. Your inner environment is the stories, beliefs, and inner voice you repeat. If your environment doesn't reflect your desired state, you'll need twice the effort to sustain it. But when everything around you reinforces it, it becomes your default far more quickly. Once your desired state becomes normal, you'll see the outer world naturally rearrange itself to match the inner. Opportunities arrive with ease, the right people show up, and the things that once made you impatient lose their grip. You no longer feel like you're waiting because for you, it's already happened. This is when creation reaches its most refined form, no longer striving to get there, but allowing effortless alignment. You don't have to hold the state consciously anymore because it's now a part of you, like your heartbeat or your breath. And from this foundation, you can expand into other desires without losing your inner stability. Making your desired state normal is how you close the door to the past, ending the cycle of having then losing, or half believing, half doubting. When what you desire becomes a self-evident part of life, it's no longer the future, it's the present. And from that present, every new dream has the space to grow with ease. Gratitude is not just the politeness of the soul, it is the frequency of completion. When you are truly grateful, you are acknowledging that what you desire already exists, not as some vague possibility, but as a reality already fulfilled. Gratitude is the bridge between where you stand and the reality you are stepping into. It's the silent confirmation you send to the universe: I have received, I have it, I am living in it. And when that message is sent, the universe responds like a faithful mirror. Absolute faith is inseparable from gratitude. Gratitude laced with doubt is just polite words. Gratitude fused with faith becomes an unspoken command, aligning circumstances, people, and events to match your inner state. Absolute faith doesn't ask when or how. It simply knows it is already happening, even when your eyes haven't seen it yet. It's certainty without evidence, peace without proof. Before sleep, let gratitude be the last feeling you carry. Don't take complaints or a sense of lack into bed. Instead, recall something good from today, no matter how small, and feel it completely. Then extend that feeling to the things you desire, but hold them as if they've already happened. If it's health, thank your body for its strength and vitality. If it's wealth, thank life for your freedom and abundance. If it's love, thank the universe for the deep connection and peace you're enjoying. When you give thanks before seeing results, you are telling your subconscious there is nothing left to wait for. You are already there. This shifts your vibration completely from anxious wanting into abundant calm. And that vibration is the strongest magnet for alignment. This practice leaves no room for half belief. You either trust or you doubt. If you believe for a moment and then let doubt creep in, the signal you send becomes distorted and your results will reflect that. Absolute faith means holding your frequency steady regardless of what happens outside. The physical world is only a delayed reflection of your inner world. If you remain unwavering within, the outside must follow. When gratitude and absolute faith become habit, you'll notice a subtle shift. Pressure disappears. You no longer feel you must make it happen. Instead, you live in the awareness that it is happening and enjoy each moment. You stop getting pulled into comparison, competition, or doubt because you know everything meant for you will find its way to you. Living in gratitude and absolute faith doesn't mean sitting still. It makes you act more, but from inspiration, not pressure. When you believe what you want is already true, you naturally choose the actions that expand that reality. And because these actions come from fullness, they bring results with more ease, speed, and wholeness. To nurture this state, make gratitude a daily ritual. Each morning, write down 3 things you are grateful for: one you already have, one that's on its way, and one you desire, but write as if it's already here. Each night, spend a few minutes feeling them deeply in silence, letting them sink into your subconscious. Repeat this long enough, and gratitude stops being something you do, it becomes who you are. Absolute faith must be protected like a flame. Avoid conversations, environments, or content that chip away at your belief. Surround yourself with people, stories, and images that strengthen your vision. Every time you hold your faith steady in the face of challenge, that flame burns brighter, lighting the way for every next step. When gratitude and absolute faith merge, you no longer live in the energy of seeking. You have found, received, and are living in it. From there, life stops being a journey of getting and becomes a journey of expanding love, expanding wealth, expanding health, expanding peace. And it all begins with one question to ask yourself each night before sleep: what can I thank for today, as if it's already here?